So now we are going to start stacking a whipped cream cake. This is something that everybody really wants to know and see how it works, because stacking is the same irrespective of whatever medium we are working, ganache or fondant or buttercream or whipped cream. And however, I just wanted to give hands-on to the students of this course. So we have a 2-tier whipped cream cake. So we already know how to do the sharp edges of the whipped cream cake. So what you guys will do, have an 8-inch cake or 6-inch, or it could be a 6-inch cake and a 4-inch. Obviously a 7 and a 5 is also fine, which means you should have a 2-inch diameter difference between the bottom tier and the top tier. And you will do all the rest of the process that you know how to do the sharp edges of the whipped cream cake. And once you get there with the 2 tiers of the whipped cream sharp edges, and then you're just going to start stacking. So one change when you're going to stack the whipped cream cake is, if it is a buttercream cake or a ganache or even a fondant cake, the paper that we cut to the dowel marking, that step has to be there in this whipped cream stacking as well. But however, now the whipped cream will be quite soft, right? Now if you're going to keep the paper on top and then mark the dowels, and then while removing, you're just going to peel off the cream on the top of the cake, which we don't want to do. So I have prepared a chart with the holes in it, which means I made the butter paper marking with all my circles and my 1-inch inside and the 2-inch apart dowel markings are all done. And then I traced that butter paper onto a chart. It can be any color, onto a chart. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hold it upright on top of the bottom tier, and in the dowel markings, I already inserted the toothpick or a skewer, and then the holes are already marked in this chart paper. Now I know exactly in these points is where the dowels have to go in this particular cake, where the top tier is going to sit, right? So I'm just going to pick up a long skewer. I'm going to hold it straight, just going to make sure I have aligned the paper to the size of the cake and hold it without moving. Then go in, make sure to just poke it in straight without slanting the toothpick or the skewer. And then the center is also important. So I have the dowel markings on the cake. Okay, so now on this I have, how many dowels do we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now you know we need both the plastic and the wooden, and you should insert the plastic all the way through one dowel marking, and then measure it with a pencil, take it out, and then cut that using the dowel cutter. And once you have one of it to the right size of the cake, then you cut 7 such the plastic dowels, and also measure the wooden dowels 7 such, and you need to keep them ready, all of them to the same height. Now when you show it to me, you just keep it on your counter and then take a picture with the help of someone, or you could do it yourself as well, and then send it across to me for verification. And once you have all of them to the same height, we'll just be ready to insert them on the cake and then start stacking, right? So I'm just going to go insert the first one. Okay, so because it's all soaked in good sugar syrup, the dowels go in pretty easily. I'm just going to insert the wooden dowels inside. You find the dowel not exactly passing through the plastic dowel. You just need to make the one side of it pointy. Just sharpen it out. Okay, so the dowels are all inserted. I'm just going to now measure for the center dowel. That will be almost say 10 centimeters. And then we have 11. So 10 plus 11 is 21. So for a 21 centimeter height, we're just going to have a 2 centimeter lesser, which will be 19. Okay, so I'm just going to mark at 19 and then cut the dowel. And we just need to sharpen one end, which will pass through the board on the underside of the top tier. The flat end will go to the bottom of the bottom tier. Okay, so just to make it easy for the board under the top tier, and that hole, though we are sure it is of the right size, you just don't want it to be exact. Okay, so now here's the center. I'm just going to insert it. Okay, I'm just going to lift the top tier from the board that is kept on the bottom of that cake. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this cake all the way up to the edge of the turntable, and just trying to lift it. So you should be able to just drag it out and be able to use both your hands under the board and without touching the sides, be able to lift this cake. Okay, so now I'm just going to see where the hole is and then just pass it through center dowel here. Then just remove your hand and then allow the cake to just slide through down. Just checking if there'll be like minor damages, which can be just fixed using hot water and spatula with the same colored whipping cream. Now after the stacking, I'm just going to get back to show what I'm going to do with this cake. Nothing but going to decorate this cake using geode. So I'll get back where I'm just going to carve a part of the cake, and I'll tell you how we just proceed forward to making a geode tutia whipping cream cake.